Hi and welcome. So some of these charts that I had created and I was playing around with jQuery earlier. Not only jQuery, there are other fancy things which can be done. So here is one that we look at, which is a simple donut chart. What it shows is these figures which say 233 and 129. So that's the number of folks who have joined within a particular month versus how many folks have left. So 144 joined in China and 72 left. So that's the number of exits. So that is one sample attrition data that we can look at. Similarly, maybe for another time period, maybe for a time period which is a different month or a different year, you can end up selecting absolutely everything. Absolutely anything to that effect. And here again, now say there were 8 joinings which happened and 96 quit, or they were forced exits or whatever it is. So you can end up looking at some of these donut charts and get that view. Similarly, you could also add up other graphs, and the way I'm adding this is I'm just going and clicking on these buttons over here. Sorry, not even buttons, just the text. I just go click on the text with the mouse and this graph comes up. So I go click on graph 5 and the graph comes up and you can end up seeing all the inputs over here. Okay, so this is one, and the other exciting thing that I've been up to is creating search forms basically. So we got a huge database here. So we got almost we got different databases. We got some sales data, we got some HR data, we got some finance data also in here. So let's go and look at this HR database. So if I look at this, what I have here is more than 5,000 records, and I obviously want to search in these records. I want some kind of functionality to search. So this is the admin view. So everybody will not have the admin access. So for say an end user, you want to end up searching in the database. So first thing you probably want to look at is people from the HR department. So okay, fine. Let's go and see what is there. How many folks are there in the HR department? Go and click, and this is the list you get. You say you got 290 entries which are being displayed, and your search term was say HR. And as you can see, this has gone ahead and it's picked up employee ID which is not of the HR department. The HR department would start off with HR over here. So why did it pick up this particular record? It picked up this particular record because the country has these terms, has this term over there, HR. So these two alphabets, it's gone and picked up on natural language selection. So it's like a Google search. But yes, of course, you do have HR people in here. So if I go ahead and do this HR, so then yes, I do get to see that within names, within country names, all kinds of data has been picked up. But yes, I do have HR employees here. But this is not necessarily what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is something which is extremely flexible. Okay, so whether I have, say, a country like China, and I just go and put in the first 4 letters in there and I say CHIN, so will it give me everything related to China? Let's see. So yeah, it's given me country China. It's given me 9 entries which are to be displayed, and yes, it is showing me these. Let me go and check in my Excel if that is the case, and if I have just 9 observations from say China. Let's go and check that out. Okay. Yes, we can see we just got exactly 9 employees within China for some reason in this particular organization. So that's okay. Next, I would want to probably check Switzerland. Okay, so again, I don't have to write the entire thing. I just go and do SWIT, and that's about it. And it goes and runs a query into the database, and it gives me again 9 entries. So like I had this selected earlier. I just have Switzerland, right? And again, just 9 entries are there. So this is extremely reactive, very flexible. Let's query a few names. Let's query the name Claire. So let's see. what comes up with clear. Okay, and this is what we have, clear. And we got 9 entries again. So we've got somebody called Claire Guth in United States. There is again a Claire Guth in Switzerland. Again one in Rwanda, and yes, of course, one in UK. 2 in UK actually. But different employee ID. So again, this is just dummy data, so this can happen. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. Now let me show you something. Now here is something which can go wrong, and as a learning experience, I ended up adding a name wherein there was some characters which were not okay, so it'll throw up an error. Yeah, so it tells me Peter has got a question mark and a character it does not recognize, so it's not UTF coded, so it won't end up showing me this, so it'll throw an error. So because this is yes, it does show me the CSRF token, which is basically cross-site reference something, and which helps us to prevent some kind of malicious code being entered into our forms, because what can be done is somebody can end up entering some malicious JavaScript over here, or entering some kind of SQL injection is the technical term if I am not wrong. So we can prevent all that. So any which ways, and this one's telling me you're logged in. That is because I'm logged in over here. That's why it's giving me this, you are logged in. This functionality can also be used. Now I say down here, you may submit any text or alphanumeric query or do whatever. You will not get paginated results. So as of now, it does not give me paginated results, but it just gives me you are logged in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a certain form or a certain display page which will give me paginated results. So presume I go for tech and I get 1317 entries. Okay. So I don't necessarily want to scroll down and have 1317 entries on one particular page, because that is what is happening right now. So if I have to scroll down this page, it can be a nightmare. So I want different pages, I want links to different pages. So that is something which has to be done. And once I am logged in and I have a certain, I have a certain designation in the organization, something to that effect, I can go and see my data in that particular manner. Okay, now let's say you are just querying employee IDs, and if I just go 1555, let's see what do I get. Quite possibly I'll just get one unique record. Perfect. And if I were to again say 1556, again a unique record. So when I'm looking at these unique records, it is okay, but for doing something like what I did earlier, I went and looked for the entire tech department. That doesn't necessarily work very well. We can also look at years. So if I look at 2011, it might just go and throw up an employee ID also, which is 2011. It will give me date of joining or date of exit. So those are the two fields I am displaying over here. But what can actually happen is I have a field for annual CTC, which I am not displaying over here on the form. So if 2011, these 4 digits in a row in this particular pattern, if they appear within this annual CTC column, or within this variable or feature or whatever it is that you want to call it, it will throw up that data also, but it will not show me that. So I'll keep wondering as to why I'm being shown this particular record. It will not show 2011, it will not display it on the page, but in the database it has gone and queried that particular thing. So this is generic data search form. A generic data search form can be utilized and can be useful for certain things, but it is not necessarily extremely useful. So what is happening here versus a generic form? What is happening here is we are getting from query sets which are running on this particular database, we are getting very minutely filtered JSON, which is helping us create these charts, which are extremely specific. So let me look at this. What exactly is this? For a particular country, what is the expense and what is the income over a period of time for a certain department? So that's what I'm getting. I'm getting it for China, Brazil, India, United Kingdom. So these are calculated fields, and if I were to, let me see if I can, yeah. So this is how these fields are calculated, right? So very specifically, we can go ahead and calculate these fields, and let me show you the one which, and this is the one which we are using for basically the search function. So there's a couple of other things which are to be created here, and like I've been doing earlier, I'll keep on sharing these videos so that I can share them with my collaborators. And thanks a lot. Thanks for listening in.